So what we have here is DJI's attempt to directly dethrone the GoPro from the action camera market. Now this is the DJI OSMO, guys. This is built to compete with the GoPro. It is brand new for DJI. They added a lot of different features that I want to go over with you. They also have a very attractive price point, and in this video we're going to do an unboxing. We're going to check out the features and specs, check out the interface, and of course we're going to do some demo footage. This is an awesome action cam, so let's go ahead and jump into it. If you guys are familiar with GoPro, you know that their specialty is with action cameras. The latest release from GoPro was the Hero 7, the Black Edition. Has a lot of cool features, records in 4K. It also has super smooth recording, guys, and it's been the king of the action camera for a while. But a month ago, GoPro released the Osmo, and it does have a ton of features. Now, the camera is a 1 2/3 inch CMOS sensor. It is a 12 megapixel camera. The lens, it does have a viewing angle of 145 degrees. It's a f2.8 aperture. As far as the LCD, this actually has two LCDs, guys, as you can see here. This is probably the first we've seen in the action camera. So the front LCD is a 1.4 inch, and this is at 330 ppi. The rear is 2.2 inch, and it is a touchscreen, and this is 300 ppi. Now, as far as the recording, you are getting 4K 60 frames per second, all the way down to 24 frames per second. You do also have 2.7K full HD as well as HD. The image output is RAW and JPEG, and as far as the battery life, you're looking at a 13 milliamp hour battery, and the charging time for this battery is 88 minutes. Now, the dimensions of this is 65 by 42 by 35 millimeter, and the weight is 134 grams. Let's go over some of the specs of the battery and how long the battery will last for you. Now, full HD, this is 1080p at 30 frames per second, will get you 135 minutes of recording time. Now, this is with DJI's brand new Rocksteady image stabilizer, which I can't wait to demo for you guys. As far as 4K, you can record 4K at 60 frames per second. You'll get about 63 minutes. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna open up the box. Maybe this isn't necessary, but whenever I can bring a knife to the reviewing table, I'll try to do so. So here are the contents of the box. So here's the battery. Alright, and you can see right here, guys, the battery actually does fasten in directly. There's no latches or anything else to get this secured. Nice little addition. They do have a slot, look like, for an SD card. They also have a helmet mount, and this is a new attachment from GoPro, so you just kind of put that in and then twist right off. And there it is, secured. And same thing here, just a different mount. Make sure it clicks in, and that's how you know it's actually secured. They have an instruction manual, and they do have their website, Instagram, as well as their Twitter and their YouTube channel on here. You have your screw right here, and of course this is the fasten the GoPro to the mount of your choice. And last but not least, you do have a charging cable. This is actually a USB-C cable. So here's the camera itself, guys. On the front it says tighten jacket before swimming, so peel that off. Switch mode, switch screens, exit on the side. So peel that off as well, if I can get it off. And there we go. Looks pretty good. On the back, this is your power, display off, display on, and this is your shutter. There are the buttons right there. Shutter right there, of course, display, and switch mode. And you notice one thing on the bottom, this is a regular GoPro mount. So if you guys currently have accessories from GoPro, this will fit right in. So no need to go out and buy new accessories for this. So this actually does screw off, guys, and in the future you will be able to go out and get your ND filters for this, so you can do different things for your image. So that's a pretty cool feature. Know that GoPro doesn't have that, even though this isn't a GoPro comparison video. So let's go ahead and release it. Pull up. Back comes down, and it slides nicely out of the protective case, guys. So let's go ahead and we're gonna peel this off. Here's the screen. Looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and insert the battery. So like I said before, the battery does not have a cover. just slips right in, and you can see around the edge you do have some weatherproofing right there, and that will keep it watertight. So this is the way it goes in. You can see the contacts deep down if you look very closely. See the contacts. So pushing like this, push all the way. So the battery release is on the bottom. It's a two-step system, so you'll need to yank this down, and then you'll need to pull this to the side, and the battery will go ahead and pop up. Now on this side you do have the SD slot along with the USB, and to get to it you have to push it in, slide down, and there you have USB-C, and you do have your micro SD card slot. Let's go ahead and power it up. Alright. So it's basically saying scan the QR code to install the DJI OSMO app from the App Store. So look like you're not able to use anything or do anything until you go ahead and sign in and get the app all set up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll come back when the setup's all done. Just finished the activation. Also went ahead and did a firmware update, and let me go ahead and power it up again. First, to power it up, button on the top. And there we go. Now, the screen itself is pretty bright, guys. Hard to explain how good it looks in person. It's one of those things that you really have to check out yourself. So I know you guys are asking about the camera, how to switch to the front camera. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it via voice, you can do it via button, or you can do it via tapping, double tapping like this. You can see that we now have display on the front screen. So this is one of the standouts. Of course, it allows you to essentially look at the frame, make sure everything's in space while you're filming on an action cam, and this is a small camera, guys. This is a killer feature which I feel like makes this camera worth it in my opinion. On the side, you have your quick shot, so if you press the side button, goes from video, HDR, slow-mo, time-lapse, and back to video. Now you can go ahead and add additional settings. You can go ahead and hit the three dots up top, guys, and you can see you have more options. You can add additional features, so if you want to add burst, you want to add time, or whatever the case is, you can add additional options within that quick launch menu. And of course, by holding the same button, we'll go ahead and swap the camera once again. Of course, this is a full touchscreen, guys, so you can swipe up. So you can see it's at 4K at 30 frames per second. You can switch the frames at the bottom, and you can switch the resolution at the top. So 2.7, you have 1080p, and within 1080p you can go up to 240 frames per second, which is super slow motion. Now notice in the yellow it says Rocksteady is not available, and that's another cool feature, guys. If Rocksteady is not available and Rocksteady is a stabilization, it will let you know. That way you won't shoot a full video then have issues later on. Alright, so it looks like Rocksteady is available up to 60 frames per second at 1080p. Let me switch it back to 4K. 60 frames per second, Rocksteady is on. Swipe back down. So that was swiping up. If you swipe to the left, that's your library. Swipe from the right, you can switch it to auto or manual. You do have your exposure as well as your ISO. Swipe from the top. This allows you to do custom modes. This is your brightness. You can lock your screen. Pretty cool. You do have certain options. You do have the voice control. Let's click on that. Select language. You do have the command list, so you can say start recording, stop recording, take picture, screen switch, shut down. So voice control, let's go ahead and turn that on. So let's go ahead and try some of them out. Screen switch, pretty cool. Screen switch, take photo, pretty cool, guys. Do have the auto rotation, so go ahead and see if we can fix that. Leave it on auto. This is the spot metering. You do have the voice control, so you can quickly disable it, enable it. And you do have the option to remove the menus from the front camera. That way, screen switch. And notice on the front camera you do have the menus right here, so you do have the option to actually remove that completely. That way you can just have a full view of what you're filming. So depending on your preference, you can go ahead and change that. Another thing that's worth mentioning, guys, is that the case is well thought out by DJI. So what you'll notice is that you do have the LED indicator up top, guys. But when you slide it into the case and you close it socket. Let's go ahead and turn it on. You notice that they allow the LED to still slide through. Another thing that's under here that you guys probably didn't notice, let me open it again. The microphone is right here up top, guys, and if you look, they do have the microphone hole right here in the top of the case as well. But even further, guys, when you do close it, if you put your finger on top, you're still not blocking the mic, so you have really no reason of messing up your audio when you're recording with the on-system mic. So well thought out. Big thumbs up to DJI. And let's go ahead. We're going to take this camera out. We're going to do some tests, and then we're going to come right back.